on why it would be really hard for manhwa to surpass manga. I mean, at this rate, is there any manhwa that actually got done justice? I feel like Solo Leveling's it's doing very well. A1 Pictures is putting quality into Solo Leveling. The international hype is pretty high. I don't know about Japanese hype. Thank you, Yamato, for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. But I've noticed a pattern of a lot of these webtoons or manhwa, material. It does not get adapted in the way that I think it deserves. Tower of God is a fantastic example. Season 1, I thought it was decent. People were complaining and crying about season 1 of Tower of God, by the way. I thought it was alright. Season 2 though, holy shit. What the Answer Studio did to Tower of God is tragic. And it's not even the fact that like they were lacking budget or timeline or shit. Maybe it was, but I think that they just don't have the talent. They are genuinely a skill issue. Their studio, they don't have any works. There's like no reputable resume that they have. So it's just like womp womp. Now you gotta think, why did Tower of God done so dirty? What about another one? Like the God of High School, right? I heard that shit got rushed as fuck too. There seems to be a level of disrespect. Maybe it's audacious for me to call it disrespect because, it's Korean content and Japanese studios are not really giving it the attention it deserves. But I've also heard from a previous video I made around this topic, a commenter let me know that there is a bit of, actually not a bit, a lot of fault that resides in the Korean side because however they communicate and mediate these deals, from the Korean side, I think they're taking shortcuts and basically they're not doing, this content justice. And we have, the beginning of the end coming up pretty soon to bait and the trailers. You've seen how the trailers looked. It's looking like it's pretty cooked, but Giguk, let me know.
Do you think manhwa will surpass manga? It has a long way to go. It has a very, very long way to go if it's going to. I don't know if the infrastructure.
What does surpass mean right now? Do you mean like the, overall ratings and viewerships of people that watch or like read these like manhwas compared to manga? Or does it mean like anime adaptations and then that performance?
Structure is there. I think what is really missing right now is going into the manhwa world. You can really feel that a lot of these stories do not have editors and do not have professional team with experience. It is
no editors and professional teams. Now, in the Japanese culture side, right? For example, Chainsaw Man, we call that the Fujimoto house, and you've seen so much talent come out of that house and create godlike works like Dandadan, for example, or Spy Family and a bunch of others. Seems like the culture of people, like a team or some sort of like group setting where you work on it together is absent. Most of the webtoons that I recognize, it's usually just like one person kind of like storyboarding, writing the dialogue and whatever the vision of the content is. And then one person could be the author, right? And most oftentimes, that's not even the case either. Rather than being like a two-man project, it's just like one person doing everything and it's very unsustainable. Time after time, you have hiatuses happening, people saying they have chronic health conditions and, apology letters sent to fans saying, listen, we're going to go on like a half-year, hiatus to focus on health and stuff like that.
Is a lot of wading through. It is wading through a lot of shit, a lot of crap, and every so often finding a hidden gem. But, that is an entirely different industry than some of the top manga magazines that have editors that have worked on manga, that experience. Like, editors are the unsung hero. Editors.
True, editors are the goats. Even content creation on YouTube as well. Without an editor, this pipeline of production cannot happen.
Are the unsung hero of the manga world. Obviously, authors themselves are goated, but editors are the people who guide the authors to go in the right direction. And I think that's the biggest thing. You see shonen.
I guess editor in this context is a little bit different. Because editors, for YouTube content, they are editing, but like, in terms of like manga culture and industry stuff like that, they get feedback, right? It's like a conversation to the author, like, hey, I don't think that this direction of the story is necessarily going to be the best outcome. Can we try to, change things a bit and, go in a different direction?
Shonen Jump, for example, they must have such an absolutely goated editing team because how Shonen Jump have stayed on top for literally like decades and decades, making the most culturally significant manga and anime to come out consistently. It's just like, damn. They are
early market capture, I think, has a lot to do with Shonen Jump's success. Of course, they're doing I would assume they're doing a great job. But what I mean by early early market capture is like, bro, when no one's like doing this shit, for example, even like reaction content too, when no one is doing it and you kind of like pioneer this niche and you have no competition, you dominate the market. And then if you're good enough, half decent, the loyalty will stand around for so long that you get carried by that early market capture. Even if new competitors show up later on, and even though their publishing abilities, let's say for this example of Shonen Jump, right, other, magazines, companies show up and they try to compete, and maybe they even have a better, like, I don't know, like better talent and just overall just better value, because of the early market capture and what people just like are so comfortable with, you just dominate if you're early.
They're doing something right, man. They're doing something right. I don't read manhwa right now. Too much cultured things there. Can there be too many cultured things? Trick question. Manhwa or manhwa?
So this is interesting. This is a Chinese pronunciation, I guess. I don't know. It's not really. But manhwa, this is for Chinese, stories. Manhwa with the W, it's Korean. One single letter changing is just go from China to Korea.
Ah, okay. I see. Do we want regression and tower, or
or do we want cultivation?
Or do we want cultivation?
Yes.
Choose your path, manga man.
I am pretty excited to see, like, I think cultivation animes has already happened, but I'm like excited to see like actual like real ones, like popular ones to come out in like a seasonal format. Because like webtoons, and I don't even call manhwas, I call them webtoons, because it's like, when I think about manhwa is like black and white published like book chapters. You read like, I think still left to right instead of right to left like manga, but it's like, it's black and white and it's like book format. It's basically what you know as manga, but Korean. Webtoon is different. Webtoon is a platform where authors can publish their works, and it's a totally different experience of vertical scrolling with colored art. And most of the shit coming out, it's webtoon stuff. So like, yeah, I think manhwa, like, it's all semantics. I just call it webtoon though.
Man. Oh man, I got so much brain rot from doing my regression video this year. It's the same thing. Actually, I go isekai. Isekai's too good.
The big three. Japan with isekai. Korea with regression. China with cultivation. The holy trinity.
Especially isekai light novel. Is isekai too good though? Is it too good? Is isekai too good? I feel like it's all in the execution, right?
Some of them are. And that's pretty much it. The reason that, webtoons, manhwa will not be able to surpass manga is because it doesn't have a culture or like a team focusing on editors. And it's just like, I have very few sample sizes to give an example of, but Tower of God, Solo Leveling. There's even another series called The Legend of the Northern Blade, I'm pretty sure. And sometimes I would see subreddit posts that gets a lot of karma talking about like hiatus is happening. And the most common thing is that like, there's only one or two people working on it. The one person may be the actual person, again, writing the script, and the other person could be the actual dedicated, the artist. But sometimes it's just like the one person doing it all. And of course, that is just very unsustainable, leads to chronic pain and health issues and people falling off, and why manga just seems to be so dominant. But that's pretty much it. Please go give Mr. Sleepy K Clips a like on the video. Here's the link. I'll see you next time.